Game of Thrones captivated millions with its epic storylines, intense political struggles, and jaw-dropping battles. But did you know that many of the events, characters, and conflicts were actually inspired by real history? Today, we're uncovering the little-known historical origins behind the world of Westeros. Let's start with one of the most obvious parallels: the Wars of the Roses. This was a series of civil wars in England during the 15th century, where two noble houses, the Lancasters and the Yorks, battled for the throne. Sound familiar? It's no coincidence that the Starks and Lannisters resemble these historic rivals. In fact, George R.R. Martin himself has confirmed that the struggle for power in Westeros is heavily influenced by this bloody chapter of English history. Next, we have Valyria, the ancient and advanced civilization destroyed by a catastrophic event mirroring the fall of the Roman Empire. Just like Rome, Valyria was known for its unparalleled technology, military might, and the vast influence it held over the world. Its fall left behind a power vacuum that shaped the fate of future generations, much like the collapse of Rome. The Targaryens, with their powerful dragons and long reign, draw inspiration from multiple historical dynasties. One comparison is with the Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt, which was also known for family infighting and complex political dynamics. But the Targaryens' notorious tendency for incest to keep their bloodline pure also echoes the Habsburg dynasty, a real European royal family that married within their bloodline to maintain power, often with disastrous consequences. And who could forget the Red Wedding? One of the most shocking moments in TV history was actually inspired by two real historical events. The first is the Black Dinner of 1440 in Scotland, where a young noble and his entourage were invited to dinner only to be murdered at the table. The second is the Glencoe Massacre of 1692, where the MacDonald clan was killed by soldiers they had taken in as guests. Both events left a brutal legacy, much like the Red Wedding did in the Seven Kingdoms. Westeros itself bears similarities to medieval Europe, particularly England and France. The wall, for example, which separates the realm of men from the dangers of the north, was inspired by Hadrian's Wall, the Roman fortification in northern England designed to keep out the tribes of Scotland. The looming threat beyond the wall in Game of Thrones mirrors the real fears of Roman soldiers stationed at Hadrian's Wall centuries ago. The infamous Iron Throne, a symbol of ultimate power, is another concept rooted in history. It's said to be inspired by the throne of Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, and later the emperor of the Romans. Much like the Iron Throne, Charlemagne's seat represented domination, unity, and absolute authority. Ultimately, Game of Thrones is a masterful blend of real history and fantasy. From epic power struggles to family feuds, so much of the drama we loved came from actual events. George R.R. Martin's genius was in weaving these historical threads into a gripping tale filled with dragons, magic, and unforgettable characters. So, the next time you watch Game of Thrones, remember, you're not just witnessing fantasy, but the echoes of real history, battles, and betrayals that shape the world we know today. If you want to learn more about the fascinating history behind the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.